The bell above the cafe door rang, and in that single fragile sound, her past walked back into her life. She froze mid-step, fingers tightening around the small plush unicorn she had been absent-mindedly holding, as if it were the only thing anchoring her to the present. Snow clung to her coat, slowly melting into quiet droplets, but she didn't feel the cold anymore. Across the warm, golden-lit cafe, sitting at a corner table like he had never left her memories, was the boy who once knew every unspoken piece of her heart. Only he wasn't a boy anymore. Time had carved something sharper into him, quieter, heavier, and somehow, lonelier. If you believe every story hides a lesson, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Stories, because sometimes, the smallest moments carry the deepest truths. She hadn't planned for this. Not on Christmas. Not in a place filled with soft music, cinnamon air, and strangers wrapped in their own small happiness. Her life had become simple over the years, carefully simple. Routine, work, small joys, quiet evenings. No chaos, no heartbreak. She had buried that chapter long ago, or at least she thought she had. But there he was. He looked up, as if something invisible had pulled his attention toward her, and for a second, neither of them moved. Recognition didn't arrive gently, it hit like a wave breaking against something already fragile. His eyes widened, not in surprise alone, but in something deeper, something unfinished. She walked toward him before she could stop herself, each step feeling like walking into a memory she had promised never to revisit. The cafe blurred around her, laughter, clinking cups, soft conversations, all fading into the background of something far more intimate and overwhelming. He had changed. The way he sat, the way he held himself, controlled, composed, spoke of a life built on discipline and distance. His clothes were precise, expensive without being loud, the kind of presence that didn't ask for attention but commanded it anyway. But his eyes, they betrayed everything. Beneath the calm was exhaustion. Not the kind sleep could fix, the kind that comes from carrying too much for too long, alone. She noticed the subtle things. The untouched coffee growing cold. The phone on the table lighting up repeatedly, ignored every time. The slight hesitation in his movements, as if even existing required effort. This wasn't just success. This was survival dressed as success. Years ago, he had been full of reckless dreams and easy laughter. Back then, they had believed life would bend for them, that love was enough to hold everything together. But life had other plans, responsibilities, distance, choices that didn't feel like choices at all. They had drifted, not because they wanted to, but because sometimes reality quietly pulls people apart while they're busy trying to hold on. She sat across from him, the unicorn still in her hands, a strange, almost childlike contrast to the moment. It made her smile faintly, though her chest ached. She wondered if he noticed how much she had changed too. The softness she once carried had been reshaped into quiet strength. Not broken, just different. Outside, snow fell more heavily now, blanketing the world in silence. Inside, time seemed suspended between them, filled with everything they had lost and everything they never got to say. He listened to her as if each word mattered, really mattered. Not the polite kind of listening, but the kind that holds on to every detail because it might be the only thing real in a long time. And she realized something slowly, painfully, for all his success, for all the invisible weight of being a man the world admired, he had built a life where no one truly saw him anymore. A lonely millionaire CEO, surrounded by people, yet untouched by connection. And she had built a life where she never had to risk feeling this deeply again. The irony settled between them like the snow outside, quiet, undeniable. There was no dramatic confession, no sudden resolution. Just two people sitting across from each other, carrying years of silence in their eyes. Sometimes, the most powerful moments aren't loud. They're the ones where everything is understood without being spoken. She noticed how his expression softened when she smiled. How something in him, something long buried, seemed to wake up just a little. And in that moment, she realized that maybe love doesn't disappear. Maybe it just waits, hidden beneath time, beneath distance, beneath the lives we build to protect ourselves. But life doesn't always give second chances wrapped in certainty. Sometimes, it just gives you a moment, fragile, fleeting, and leaves the rest up to you. Before you reach the ending, take a second and comment below. Have you ever met someone again and felt like no time had passed at all? The cafe began to empty slowly, the golden lights dimming into evening. Christmas outside felt softer now, quieter. And as she stood to leave, something unspoken lingered, not regret, not hope exactly, but something in between. Something real. He watched her go, not stopping her, but not looking away either. And she walked out into the snow, her heart heavier, yet strangely fuller. Because sometimes, closure isn't about endings. Sometimes, it's about understanding what still lives inside you. And sometimes, the greatest love stories aren't the ones that stay, but the ones that remind you how deeply you can feel. If this story touched something inside you, even quietly, take a moment to like, share, and tell us what you felt.